Trump shreds fake news reporter during live interview. Crowd goes wild. uh, Trying to set him up, trying to make the man look like a racist. We all know that's all fake stuff. They've been pushing that, saying Trump is a racist, is a bigot, and all these other a sexist, and all these other things. The leftists continue to push on him with absolutely no proof. They make stuff up and say these things, and then when he talk about his accomplishments with the black community, she totally ignore it and pretend like, oh, none of these things actually happened when he answered the question. So I'm gonna play the clip of that. We're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon, and that's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Slate News' Frank Bergman. The great Frank Bergman, and he reports that President Donald Trump dropped the hammer on a rude fake news network reporter during an interview in front of a live audience. Trump sat down for an interview with ABC's Rachel Scott at the National Association of Black Journalists conference in Chicago. He had traveled to the Deep Blue City on Wednesday to deliver remarks at the event. However, without introducing the 45th president to the audience, Scott unloaded on Trump with the long-winded question filled with false claims. The reporter began by accusing Trump of lying and attacking the black community. Wow. Trump sat patiently as Scott reeled off multiple false claims while accusing him of being a liar and a racist. As she continued, Trump sat quietly without interrupting until she finished. The mostly black crowd then went wild as Trump unleashed on Scott in response. So I'm just going to play the clip here. Let's get down to the clip. Okay, so here we go.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens.
She's talking. I'm not sure about the Nikki Haley one. I haven't really gone into deep research with the whole Nikki Haley thing. I don't even remember him saying that. But when it comes to Obama, we all know the birth certificate. I'm not saying that he wasn't born here, but the birth certificate they posted has been proven to be fake. It was not a real birth certificate that Obama released to the public. It's been researched. It's been looked at from Sheriff Joe. I can't remember the sheriff name. Arizona sheriff. I can't remember his name. He actually looked into this, hired people to look into this, and that birth certificate was fake. So where does Obama come from? Nobody really knows.
Citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
See, and we all know Trump. Trump calls a lot of people stupid. It doesn't matter. So because he just happened to maybe call a black journalist stupid, that doesn't mean he think all black people are stupid. How many people have Trump called stupid? It's just how he talks. He's from Brooklyn. He got that bravado. That's how people from Brooklyn talk. If you look at 50 Cent have that same type of smack talk. I mean, and they get so offended and they try to pull out these identity things. Oh, he said that to him because, or her because she's black or because she's a woman. No, this is how Trump goes after anyone that goes for him, that comes for him. He's not afraid to call him out on it. And they can't stand that. They can't stand that Trump don't just sit quietly and let you berate him.
You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. Right. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC?
And the crowd is with him. The crowd is not with her. Listen to that crowd. They're with him. She's just a liberal hack, another leftist liberal hack.
Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
Listen to the crowd.
I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
Those are facts.
Including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
She said better than President Johnson, who signed the Civil Rights Act. Yes, Johnson begrudgingly signed that Civil Rights Act. He did not want to sign it. It was the Republicans and that pushed him, that was for the act, that made him sign the act. And when he signed it, he basically put what is it called? A spell, or what's the word? The word escapes me. He put a hex or something on black people, where he said, blacks are gonna be voting for the Democrat Party for 100 years. So we ain't got to do nothing after. We ain't got to do nothing. We don't have to do anything after this. And so tell me, what has one thing that the Democrat Party has done to help black people since Johnson signed that? Absolutely nothing. And that's what the thing. That's why the Democrat Party has a chokehold on black people. But black people are waking up. A lot of black people are waking up to this Democratic plantation and finding out that the Democrat Party really don't have our best interests at heart. They don't do anything to help the black community, except for every 4 years they come out and say, hey, we need your vote again, and then we don't hear anything else from them. Where we have someone that was in office that actually did stuff to help black people, the opportunity zones, the prison reform, all these other things that actually tangible, practical things that help black people. When you ask Harris and Biden, what have they done for black people? Crickets. You can't name not one policy, not one thing that they have actually done to help the black population.
Start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner. I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here.
Absolutely disgrace. I totally agree with that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.